Thanks for joining us again on the Canalta Hotel's AJHL Coaches Show from the Sherwood Park Arena. I'm Dave Dawson, pleased to be joined today by the head coach and general manager of the Bonnyville Pontiacs, Rick Swan. First of all, Rick, why don't we talk hockey stuff, coaching in specifics first. To the start of the season, is your team where you expected them to be or where you knew you could be with the right commitment?
Well, I think when we embarked on a plan 12 months ago to try and see if we could elevate where we were going to be this year, we really didn't want to put any limitations or any expectations, but we did know as an organization that if we wanted to continue in a pattern of being third, fourth, having pretty good seasons, maybe getting a round or two of playoffs, if we wanted to do something different than that, then we had to take a different approach. And I was fortunate that our organization allowed us to do some great things by bringing in Rob Hunter to focus solely on the business aspect of things, took those duties away from me so that I could focus a little bit more on coaching. And then we had good people in our assistant general manager, Neil Langridge, and Dean Moisen, our director of player personnel, that we said that let's go young, maybe younger than we should have last year, but we felt that if we put our people in situations that they normally wouldn't have gotten as 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and we would have a chance to elevate their growth. And we felt that we did do that. We felt that our players grew a little bit more because of those types of scenarios that we put them in. And then we had to make some real tough decisions. Boy, if you think that it's hard to trade players, you try and trade favorite players like PJ Morocco and Derek Brown that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, but they were part of the plan that we had to try and acquire good transitions and acquisitions from different leagues. And so that all meant that we had quite a different juggling process of trying to bring in the right players in here. And we wanted to be in a better situation than we would have been normally. And we felt that, boy, being in first place with the Sherwood Park Crusaders, who are having a tremendous year, I'm satisfied with where we are. And we always look at where we thought we would be, and we were hoping that we would be top three in the league. And so right now, yeah, definitely we certainly love that, and we know we got a long ways to go, though.
We talked before starting recording maybe the similarities between the two programs, and maybe I just want to ask you overall your thoughts on the North Division, which has been for the better part somewhat dominated by Spruce Grove when it comes to championships over the years. But how about some of that parity in 2018-19 and some of the competition in this division?
Well, it's great. Yeah, Spruce Grove is a very good team this year as well. They're within that top three, but great to see the Sherwood Park Crusaders, the Bonnyville Pontiacs now at the top of the list that hasn't been there in my 7 years. And our coaching's so good in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. And every night you have to be prepared. You have to do your homework as a coach. But you look at, Adam has done a tremendous job. You look at Bram's done a tremendous job. You've got great coaching in the Gord Thibodeaus and the Tom Kekkas, the Eric Thurstons now in Drayton Valley doing a tremendous job. And you're right, the parity is so strong. I think that, number one, it's got to do with the coaching. Grand Prairie's taken a big step from last year, and they continue to do. But also the work that's being done, I think, by the general managers of the league. Kyle's done a heck of a job putting together a great Sherwood Park Crusaders team. And we're lucky that we've got good people within the Bonnyville Pontiacs organization to create that parity, because we all want the best players and we're all courting the best players, but they can only choose one team. So it's a tremendous amount of work that people don't realize just how hard it is to attract good people to your organization. And I think that that's a big reason, the coaching and as well as the work done by the general managers of our league to create that parity.
You talked about earlier in there, the comment there about the young team last year, quite a few 17-year-olds, fairly heavy in the 19-year-old department right now on this Pontiacs team. A nice sprinkling as well of first-time Pontiacs, quite a few BCHL players. By design, is that kind of how you plan to draw it up for this season?
Well, I don't know if it's by design. Ultimately, you want a good player that's got high-speed skills that can play with pace, but I think that the model of any organization, not only in hockey but in life, is that you want to get good character kids that want to come to the rink every day, that are there to better themselves, that are good in the community. And we know that with our program, being a small town, in order to make sure that we sustain the team, we have to make sure that we get everybody on board, and that's our businesses and our people. And one thing that we try and do that maybe some organizations don't put as much emphasis in is get out in the community and be good citizens. And you talk about the mentors that I had, and I know, Dave, you and I talked before about who I had the fortunate opportunity to play for. Claire Drake and Billy Morris, two of the best human beings that I've ever been associated with. And I always thought that if I had to wait till I was a university student to go with that model, and it was about people first, about citizens first, why couldn't I apply that to the novice level or the initiation level, and then certainly the junior level, because those people are going to be way better for it when they move on to the college level, and those coaches are going to get good citizens and good people that are going to enhance their culture. And so really with us, by design, yeah, we got some great players, but we did our homework this year to make sure we got great people as well.
I was going to ask you about a quote that is on your LinkedIn. I was going to save it for the end of the interview, but I think just the way this is going, I may as well drop it in here now. And I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing. You can check out Rick Swan's LinkedIn, and it's right on there as well when you have time. But there's just a lot of power in some of the words you have there, and maybe I'll just read a snippet of it. The right philosophy that changes lives. The right philosophy has to be more than just what we do on the ice. Who is that from? Where does that come from? And what does that mean to you?
Well, I think as coaches, you have to develop a philosophy when you start coaching. You have to have a purpose and an intention. And I think that being a little bit older into the game, you go through life. And when my kids played and when I got into coaching at the initiation Tom Thumb levels and I left the junior hockey area to do that, I just wanted to make sure that the kids that I coached had an opportunity to have fun in the games so that they could move on to the next level. But more importantly, what a incredible impact that coaches can have, and a positive impression that we can make about making sure that they are good people at the end of the day. And Billy Moores and Claire Drake gave me a great foundation of a philosophy, but ultimately it came down to that they're going to be me one day or you one day, Dave, that they're going to be citizens in our community, and you want them to be good people as a result of maybe your influence and contact with them. And Claire Drake and Billy Moores always said that he is more proud of the doctors and teachers and lawyers and policemen and firemen that he coached than he is of the players that moved on to the next level. And those people make impact in our communities, and they make a difference to the people in their lives. And so your philosophy sustains. You can only be a good hockey player for so long, but one day you're going to have to be a good person, and you're going to be a good person a lot longer than you are going to be a hockey player. And that's that big picture perspective that we all strive for. And for us in the Pontiacs organization, it's about making a day. It's about touching and reaching out to a kid or a team or a community and making sure that your presence there made it a better situation for them. And so there's that philosophy, and even now today I get chills with all the players that are doing well and the success that they've created, and we're always there for them as coaches forever, whether it's references or whether we can be there for some advice, and that's really what the servant way is. And if you're servant to people, life gets pretty good back to you.
You talked about some people serving in the community, and yourself served as a part of the police force for a number of years, probably well known out there. And how much does that help you in your role, and what kind of impact does that help you make in the community, maybe as a part of this organization as well?
Well, being a police officer for that many years, I've worked with some of the best people in the world that give so much of themselves to try and make a real positive impact in the community. They're people that are selfless, that really don't think about themselves. They're more of a team person, whether it's a volatile situation and you're going into that situation to calm things, or they're always helping people. And that's maybe what gravitated me towards policing after I finished my hockey, because it's a real big team in that sense. And those experiences, being patient with people, making sure that you're doing above and beyond more to try and help out and get a successful resolve, making sure that your players are also with that mindset that they're there just to make a day, in a sense. All those things and the patience aspect that you get with policing all really relate and correlate to what coaching is. It's dealing with people, it's dealing with relationships, whether it's a call that you're dealing with in an investigation or dealing with your players each and every single day, trying to find a way to get a successful resolve. So it's really similar. And leaving policing to do this full time, it's not even a job. I just feel that I get to go to work every day, do something I love. And you know, I know if it wasn't for my supportive wife, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. You know, she got the double whammy. First, a policeman who missed a heck of a lot of things because of the shift work and the demands there. And now she gets the double whammy of a coach that this profession, there's never-ending hours. You're dealing with 25 kids and you're trying to make them as young men, and then as well as making sure that you're getting them to perform the right way as well. So I'm lucky for that, but I just love what I do.
We'll get into the specifics of your team fairly quickly here. I'm curious to hear just your opinion on some of the guys on your roster. Maybe just first of all, I've never personally been to the town of Bonnyville, heard great things. I have a lot of respect for what Rob Hunter has done there for a number of years. Maybe can you just describe what the heartbeat of that community is for hockey, who they are, and maybe a little bit as well about Rob Hunter and just his impact in the area?
Sure. It's a traditional town that hockey is massively important to the people there for years and years. And they're an honest fan base where they appreciate players that put an honest day's work in, that they're honest with each other, and they give back to the community that supports them so well. And so it was a great fit for me to be able to go there, knowing that the fan base just expects you to not necessarily win a championship every year, but making sure that that honesty is relayed among the player, because that's what the fans appreciate so much. And Rob Hunter's an individual that has greater vision than anybody that I've been around, and he sees the potential in a town like that with a passionate fan base that really appreciates that honesty that I talk about, just what we can be. And a big reason for our success this year, though it shows on ice and everybody looks at the statistics, is definitely Rob and his bigger vision. And he's just been tremendous. He sees, like us as coaches, more potential than our players see in themselves. He sees more potential in our organization than maybe anybody ever thought before.
Seems to be a bit of a trend now. I don't know if 2 in the league is a trend. There might be another, I'm not sure. But Tyler King involved in hockey ops, Rob Hunter. I guess, does it make sense for you that the play-by-play guy often maybe is the guy who's really out in the community and really kind of digging for information? It's to my opinion, no surprise that the Bandits are doing well because Tyler King's involved, Rob Hunter's involved. Does it surprise you that mix is a good trend for at this level?
Not at all. And I think that the fit is that they're around the team every day. They see the players, they watch the players, they're involved with the transitions, the making of a team. So it makes sense for the person that's promoting our team and our organization. He has that firsthand knowledge. So there's a real conviction and belief and passion versus somebody that just comes in on a day-to-day basis without knowing the ins and outs, the hardships, the ups and downs, the injuries, the frustrations that players go through, the slumps on the buses, and just how hard coaches work. And I think I read a quote that I wish as a player I knew just how much time is spent worrying about the players and doing what's best for them. And I never knew that as a player, but certainly we spend so many hours doing that, and Rob is right involved in that. We've got a great relationship, and I think it's helped enhance his passion to be able to sell our product the right way.
At this point in the season, how would you describe their style of play and how you're trying to coach them?
Well, we like our players to play with pace. We think that this is the deepest team that Bonnyville Pontiacs have had in franchise history. Certainly my 7 years in the league, it's been our deepest team. We want to play 200 feet hockey north and south with pace. We want to play hard every night. We want to make sure our work ethic is through the roof, but more importantly, we want to have a whole team that contribute. Our whole bench needs to contribute every single night, and so far it's been a good recipe for success.
All right, so a couple more questions here for you. The first one, we spent a lot of time speaking about yourself and then the makeup of the organization, and I think that's really what this coach's show is all about. But I think you'd be allowed to brag about a couple of your players. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. So there are a couple guys on your roster. I'm sure you look at Marc-Antoine Benoit will probably be at the top of that list, and you got a few of them. Are there a couple of guys that jump off the page for you?
Absolutely. It starts with great goaltending, and both Colby Muse came as advertised from North York when we acquired him this year. He's been just stellar. Easton Hess has been a terrific backup that is an Alberta boy that played in Leduc. I love that. We've got great solid D and the Luke Alberts, who's committed to Brown University. We've got Sean Thompson, that we acquired this year, along with Matthew Monk recently from Whitecourt. And then you look at Jeremy Gervais, our top four D-men are great. We got some complimentary guys there, Noah Luley. But up front, your Grayson Constables, another commitment this year to Holy Cross University, just a superb captain, a great leadership group that we've got. I could go on and on about all our players. Like the Marc-Antoine has been a real good surprise. Trey Thomas, Dane Dubois, those are all guys that came in, and we talked earlier that good people, and that's why I think that they're having this success on the ice.
At this point in the season, number one in the league in shorthanded goals for. Is that something that you've coached aggression with a man short, or is that just skill level? The guys jump up on the play and capitalize on those opportunities.
You know, we want our guys. Our goal this year is to score between 10 and 15 shorthanded goals, and we know that often teams get complacent on the power play. We're one of those teams that have been often accused of doing that, where we let off a bit. We've got 5, they've got 4, but we want to reverse those roles, and we want to make sure that we take advantage of some of that complacency that occurs. And it's worked well. We want to try and push the pace, whether we're short or not, and we've been real successful doing that.
Rick, I could spend probably another half hour talking to you about life and picking your brain, but I'd definitely have to say that I really appreciated your time, really enjoyed chatting with you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of our fine cameraman, Jordan Miller, I'd like to say thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Perfect.
Lots there to cut and paste.
And you know what?